What's up, guys? Kyokai1994 here today to talk to you about anything, you guessed it, Dragon Ball. From Ball to Z and everything in between. And today, again, we will be continuing the trend of talking about Dragon Ball side stories. In this installment, I will be hashing out ideas on a very unpopular fat blob that I happen to really enjoy and want to see a lot more out of. Especially after how he wasn't used for the Tournament of Power and kind of got shafted. To help me dive in and hash these ideas, in today's video I will be introducing for the first time to my channel another guest. A man that loves anime, TV, movies, and can take down a sloth with a single hit.
Oh my.
The Saitama of the animal kingdom, One Punch Sloth. What's up, man? How you doing today?
What's up, fellers? I'm doing pretty good.
Excited to talk some Dragon Ball today?
Of course, I'm always excited to talk some Dragon Ball. My fellow weeb is kicking in. I think it's time to go.
So, if you guys like what you hear from Sloth in this video today, I want you guys to head over to the link in the description below and check his channel out. He makes a variety of videos for you guys, and he really enjoys making YouTube videos, so go and check him out. But today, Sloth and myself are going to talk about the lovely pink blob that is Majin Buu, and the ideas that we have to create a nice run of side stories and a nice manga to, make Buu happy, because there's nothing more important than making Buu happy.
There surely is not.
But, there was a couple ideas that I had for these side stories, and me and Sloth off air have been talking about them a little bit. And the first thing that I really want to see, especially because of the, not misinformation, but from different things that we believed as fans and reading and what the chapters stated and what interviews with Toriyama himself have stated, I want to personally see, the way that Bibbidi and Boo actually started off their reign of terror in the galaxies. In the book, it's actually stated by the Kais that Bibbidi created Boo, but later on Toriyama kind of changed that and said that Boo has always been there and has gone in and out of hibernation cycles, and Bibbidi just happened to know how to get him out of his hibernation cycle. So I do want to start off these side story ideas with seeing the creation / finding of Boo originally, and I want to see them destroying galaxies, because they talk about this huge reign of terror that they have, and we get to see a small glimpse in the anime of him destroying a small amount of a planet and also taking out the Kais. So, personally, that's something that I would like to dive into because I feel like it would widen the character out. I don't know if you would like to see any of those kind of explosive, destructive moments yourself, Sloth.
Personally, I would love to see that because I think Boo is a very underused, powerful character. And not necessarily as powerful as some characters in Super, but definitely one of the most powerful ones in the Z era. And we need to see more of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I want all of these side stories to actually go, is I want them to expand these characters. This is a show that I personally have been in love with for over a decade. I mean, most of my life, not just my adult life, most of my life period, this is something that I have always loved to watch, always loved to see, always loved to learn more about, and
Same.
I'm always interested to talk to people about Dragon Ball and what it is and what the creation is. And since the torch is metaphorically being passed from Toriyama onto these other writers, them diving in and expanding his universe is something that I really want to see. I know I've mentioned this in a video before, but with him passing the torch, it allows things to be done with his characters and his story that he may have wanted but didn't execute or didn't execute properly. So a definite backstory fulfillment of Boo himself, the pure Boo, even into, Fat Boo and everything. They don't have to retell that. They could glimpse over it pretty fast over a couple pages, him killing the Kais and absorbing and turning into the Majin Buu we know today. But it's something that I think would be very nice to see come from a manga chapter. And after we get to see all of his destruction and craziness, we could even at the end of that manga run see some kind of maybe thoughts of good because of the Kai, the fatter Kai that he absorbed. He gains some kind of childish joy and thought process from the evil mindset he had beforehand. And him gaining that definitely adds something to his brain. Every time that we've seen him absorb somebody or defuse from somebody, we see a shift in his mind. So, before the ultimate, shift that Mr. Satan has him do later in the Buu arc that we see in Dragon Ball Z, it would be very interesting to see glimpses throughout little panels and everything of him thinking about good or him wanting to do good for people. I mean, even as a monster, he did good things in Dragon Ball Z. He heals the boy's eyes so that the boy will be scared of him. He heals B because he wants to know why he's not running away. So I mean, he doesn't understand everything properly, but it's definitely something I personally want to see, and it's something that would be a good way to fulfill his character again. And after we get done, showing his creation and eviler side, we can definitely have a manga of Mr. Satan and Boo's adventures. Now, this is something that would be very easy to do. They're obviously always together. There's always something going on between them. And Sloth actually had a couple really good ideas for it, and I'm going to let him talk about one of them now. But I would really, really enjoy seeing the misadventures of Mr. Satan and Boo. So what was that idea that you were thinking of, Sloth?
Okay, so one of these will be more of a gag manga than a serious manga. We cannot take this seriously. It will be kind of like the Yamcha Reborn one, and it starts out where we see Boo and Satan, and they're going to a carnival, and they're just hanging out, having fun. This doesn't have to be set in any particular timeline. It can be set before Super, after, a little bit during Super. It doesn't not matter, but we see them going on a carnival, and we see them go on a couple rides. They're having fun, and they stumble across a fortune teller's place, a fortune teller's tent. They go into the tent, and Boo asks for her to tell him who he is and what his future holds. And she starts reading his palms, and her eyes widen, and she gets all frightened, and she says, "I know who you are, I know what you've done, and soon the world will know." And basically, we see Satan and Boo track down this woman, a fear of the world knowing who Boo is and knowing what he had done, and they go through a bunch of adventures in a bunch of different places trying to reach this woman, and we see them learn more about each other and also grow as a friendship.
See, and the other thing, trying to find this woman and I guess, fulfill the things she wants out of them would actually be very interesting because you get to see this all-powerful being actually being held down by somebody, just like we saw with Bobbity, where you're like, why does he listen to him, and why does he do the things that this man commands him when he's so much more powerful than he is? So it would be a very interesting thing to actually see both him, Boo, and Mr. Satan being so scared about the truth coming out of this woman to the world about what has happened. And definitely seeing Mr. Satan flustered is something that I think is very comical. You can make a lot of gaggy adventures out of that. I mean, Indiana Jones style. I mean, you could even have them go to Penguin Village and meet everybody from Dr. Slump, and that would even be funny. I mean, with these two characters, there's not a lot that you can do that would actually ruin anything. As long as you don't kill them off or make them, like, lose a limb or something like that, there's not a lot of things stated in the series that you could ruin or retcon by making one of these gag mangas about these characters. So
that's what makes them so great.
Them trying to satisfy this actual, fortune teller, palm reader would be something that was very interesting. And I know that you actually had a twist ending idea for this as well when they actually find the fortune teller.
Oh yeah. So we find her, and this is all going happening at the carnival, by the way. That's why Boo cannot just stretch out and surround her basically and make her talk to Satan. So we find out that she has no idea that they're following her. And we find out that she was lying about the whole thing, and basically she exposed herself as being nothing but a con artist, if you will, and she had no idea what Boo was, or no idea what he had done, that she was just trying to get a laugh out of him. And that's where we would cut the manga, and it would be funny.
Yeah, see, and that would be hilarious. And the other thing about it is it's also something that's moderately true. I personally don't have any psychic abilities, and I don't know anybody who does have any psychic abilities, but there are people that claim to have them out there. Plenty of people have television shows and everything, but a lot of these carnival sideshows, they're cons. They're there to entertain you. They use keywords. They use subtle hints that people give off. They learn how to read people's body language. And the thing about it is, maybe she saw that he doesn't look like anybody else. I mean, even though we have dogs walking around as people and there's all these anthropomorphic characters, she just saw something with him and read something in his body language that he seems too happy or something. Maybe he was evil at one point, and maybe I can con them out of something. She probably would know who Mr. Satan is, and when I say probably, she would know who Mr. Satan is. I mean, he is the savior of the world, you know. Gohan didn't do anything. It was all Mr. Satan who beat Cell, and if she could remember, it was Mr. Satan who beat Boo as well, but her mind would, be erased from that. But it would be very interesting to see this insane adventure, to have it come to, oh, she was just lying because it's a carnival and you guys didn't think about that, and just see this wacky adventure that they could have. But to go away from a gag style manga, I know that there was a serious chapter that you'd want to put in the misadventures of Boo and Satan, if you want to talk about that as well.
Totally. I think that they are serious characters if we can use them a lot, but in Super we have not really seen their serious side. We have not seen them, the good in them, if you will. We have not seen them fight very often, especially Boo, and especially Satan, because he doesn't really fight at all. But
yeah, Boo got shafted with the whole Tournament of Power thing.
Oh, it made me so sad. I was crying in my corner.
Yeah, I don't like Frieza, so I was really sad, especially after he got all buffed up and everything.
Animation was not good either, so it's kind of a flop. But, so this manga would start out where Satan's supervisors tell him, hey, your show's ratings have gone down. We need to boost them up. Any ideas how? And he suggests the idea of going to a village that is in need of help. So they go to this village, and him and Boo, because they're always together. We don't even have to say why they're together. They're always together. It's just a common theme now. And they go to this village, and they grow to like the villagers. They grow to help them, and we see them go on wacky adventures with some of the kids. And about halfway through the manga, we'll see bandits come, and they say, "Hey, it's time. That time of the month. We need half your food, half your money, you know, and we need you to comply, or else it's gonna be trouble." And instantly, Boo gets all flustered, and smoke starts coming out of his head, and he gets obliterated flustered. And well, we see that Satan trying to calm him down. And Satan said, "I'll handle this, Boo. You cannot do this. Everyone would be scared of you. You cannot do this because there's cameras rolling." And Satan tells everyone to turn off the cameras, and we see Satan go and fight these bandits. And it is a comedic battle because Satan's not that strong, but he's still a pretty strong human. I mean, he withstood a blow into a mountain by Cell. Like, you gotta be tough to do that. So we see them fight, and we see Satan just take down all of them. And he has some trouble with it, but at the end of the day, he takes down all these bandits. And we see the mother of a village come up and say, "Thank you for helping us. No one here could have done that except you." And she thanks him and Boo. And Satan notices that she's pregnant with a baby. And Satan says, "What will his name? Do you know the gender?" And she says, "Yeah, it's a boy." And he says, "Well, what's the name?" And she says, "Ood." The end.
See, that would be a fantastic ending to that chapter as well, because it puts a nice little twist. It doesn't mean anything to Boo, it doesn't mean anything to Mr. Satan, but it means something to the audience. We now have a connection between the reincarnation of Boo, the pure Boo, the kid Boo, and his counterpart of Majin Buu, and it would be very interesting to see something like that. would have a super effect on this, this village. Now, maybe it wouldn't be for the longest because we do, we have to have Oob come into the tournament, but we could have Mr. Satan help for that time. And like you said, if it's for his image and everything, he doesn't mind dropping a little bit of money, but money runs out. So that would lead Oob to, need to get into the world tournament, and it would also continue to have the end of Z happen the way that it's supposed to. And seeing something like that as a fan myself would make me freak out. I'd be like, oh, it was Oob the whole time. Oh, something like that. Just one of those freak out moments between a small...
And it'd be very fan service.
Yeah, but fan service is not always even bad, but it would be a very big thing that some of us YouTubers have all together called a mark out moment in, reference to my good friend Mark from Real Productions. But we'd all have our, little freak out moment, and haha, it's a good little, reference to the series. It continues everything on. But it definitely can be done properly. And with it being done properly can extend the character that is Mr. Satan and widen his character out and fill his character out. It can also fill out Majin Buu's character. And then that's the major thing that we're trying to talk about in this video. He's a character that I personally have seen so much hate and ridicule on just because of them not liking small minor details that happened in that arc or that run of arcs that we personally, or me personally, call the Buu Saga. So because of hate of the actual arc, they just kind of hate everything about it. They project their dislike of one character onto all characters in that. And that is a generalization myself of saying that, because there are many people like myself and Sloth that enjoy the Buu arc and enjoy his character, but I feel like this may be a mainstream way to actually make more people enjoy him. I mean, a lot of people were really ready to see him come in the Tournament of Power, but they kind of dashed all of our hopes and dreams by bringing back the, terrible Emperor of 5 minutes, and it's something that disappointed me, and I really wanted to see Buu. And I feel like this would make up for it. Even though it's not an anime, it's a manga, I enjoy reading the manga, and this would fulfill that little piece for me, just to have a nice side run of manga that is devoted to Buu and everything about him. So I do think that that's where we're going to kind of, leave the video off on. I definitely want to hear y'all's comments about what you think a great side story for Buu is down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, go over to Sloth's channel, check it out, see if there's something over there you like, and give him the follow. He's somebody who really enjoys what he's doing, and he's really trying to jump in to this community. I mean, he's awesome on Twitter. If you guys see him all the time, he comments to everybody and has great tweets. So that's definitely something that's, enjoyable. And he's a great guy, and I really feel like you guys will find something that you enjoy on his channel. And I want you guys to show him that you want him to continue doing this, just like I want you guys and enjoy when you guys tell me how much you want me to continue doing this. It builds up people's confidence, and it really makes them strive when things like YouTube want to kind of hold you back and hold you down. But I want you guys to like the video if you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, I want you guys to leave a comment about what side stories you guys want to see in the comments below, as well as side stories revolving around Buu or Mr. Satan. And I want you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. With the subscription, you definitely get a lot of variety of content from my channel. I do Dokkan videos, I do my side stories. This is probably my most popular series. It's one that I really enjoy doing. I really love talking about how I can extend the Dragon Ball mythos in my own head. And like I said, maybe, just maybe, it's a prediction for something that Shueisha's going to actually do with the series. Or maybe Toei's going to animate some of this stuff, and that would be really nice for me to see. But I want you guys to enjoy your day, and I'll catch you guys next time.